Do you imagine your songs visually when you're sort of composing or performing them? Do you have a set visual idea in your mind as to how it...
No, I usually try and think of, this is somebody that's going to just hear this with their ears, sitting in a bar or something. No, not real. I think they should say something to whoever who's listening to them in the words. They should be about something. They shouldn't just be a bunch of goofy words that make some kind of mood, or something.
Don't you get that though, listening to other people's records? So you get a lot of images in your head and stuff like that, do you?
Sure. I'm sure they should make images in people's heads, but that's the job of the listener to make their images. I don't think too much of images.
This album title, Date with Elvis, what was the concept behind that title? I mean, is it a tribute or is it a piece of necrophilia? That's what we wanted to know.
I think it's a tribute, but it's also kind of stands for kind of something like what a date with Elvis would have been really like, because he had an album called A Date with Elvis.
He had an album called that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's sitting in it's half of it is all his Sun stuff. It was one of his first albums that came out with RCA. That reissue, all of his Sun stuff, all his Sun singles are on it, and a couple of it came out in '58 or '59. But it's like what a date with Elvis really would be like. He if you had a date with Elvis, what really happened is he'd give you pills and stuff like that. And he'd, read to you from religious books.
Those books are all on the cover with his favorite book.
Yeah.
The books that he read to girls, he'd get groupies and stuff, and he'd read to them from these religious books. They'd sit there and go, yikes! What? A real date with Elvis was, a sick deal. It wasn't a convertible or anything like that.
What do you think of all this never-ending Elvis exploitation that the media puts out?
Like what?
Well, like what? Where is it?
I might not be aware.
I haven't been to the... Oh, I was just at the supermarket.
All this stuff, garbage like this.
The Curse of Elvis? Hey, that sounds good.
Damn it, we were just at the supermarket getting this beer.
Yeah, I hope they still have it. Will Priscilla ever find peace of mind?
What do you think about it?
He wouldn't fuck her, could you imagine that? What a sick person.
It just shows, how popular it is.
I think it's great. I think he probably thought it was great too.
I'd love to be in those magazines myself. Because I always hear about these people suing National Enquirer or something. I think it's an honor.
I wish that people would write about us in this magazine instead of putting out bootlegs. I wish they'd channel that energy towards getting us in these magazines. They can write whatever they want. And we wrote a script for this movie he's describing a long time ago. We should make our own movies. We should be able to, and I hope that someday we will. We've written this already. It's called Aloha from Hell, the movie.
Yeah.
He goes back on.
I can start. I can tell you the whole movie. I can recite it to you right now. I had a whole deal. The whole thing. It opened at a bar. Ivy was dancing in the bar. Me and Nick were sitting at the bar.
I can't remember.
Then we got in the chicken run, and the jukebox was playing "Do the Clam," and I'm sitting there looking at, or I forget, one of us is looking at Ivy dancing and saying, "Wow, wow," and then I was saying, "Wow, wow," like that on and on. It shows our face and keep getting closer up and going, and then one of us says, "Wow, boy, could he sing," like that, and then all of a sudden somebody throws us through a window and we land on the hood of this. A fight breaks out for no reason. I always love it in movies when fights breaks out for no reason. The Creeping Terror, a fight broke out for no reason at all. Have you ever seen The Creeping Terror?
Yeah.
With the rug carpet.
With the rug, yeah.
A fight breaks out for no reason at all, and I forget if it was me or Nick get thrown through a window and land on top of this car hood, and this gang of girls outside is really pissed because we land on top there, and they challenge us to a chicken run. We get in our car and they get in their cars, and we head for this mountain. And of course, we're all too cool to a chicken out. So both cars crash into the mountain and blow up into flames and everything, and then we all go to hell where we meet Elvis.
Do people get upset about it then? I mean, do they get upset about, the sexual the sexual innuendo of it all?
I guess it makes people uncomfortable because people are always trying to act like it isn't sexual, or there's some kind of reason, there's some kind of like asking me why did I write what's inside a girl? Why did you write those words, I mean, it's spelled out pretty clear, I don't know,
I mean, sex is a part of rock and roll, surely, I suppose.
Well, I think it's
synonymous with rock and roll and life.
Yes, it's exactly the same thing. It equals rock. Rock and roll was a term that meant fucking. That's the first purest term. Before music was dragged into it, it was in rhythm and blues music or country blues music even. Like years before rock and roll became a dance or a musical thing, it meant getting in bed with a girl and having sex. That's what it meant. Then it became a dance, or it became music, or something else it was named. But I mean, to me, rock and roll means fucking and nothing else. Then you can have music, which is like music you play to it, or something. But I mean, it's fun. It's good. It's good to have rhythm along with that, But
little candles and stuff. Some wine or champagne, some music, yeah.
I don't understand that. That's why when I was talking earlier, I was saying that people don't know what rock and roll is. It's a soundtrack for sex. It has nothing to do with like what 9,000 things that come out every year are called rock music or rock or something, and it doesn't have anything to do with music or anything like that. It's an attitude,
Well, judging by what you hear today, do you think that...
Not an attitude, because you don't think when you're fucking, I mean...
Judging by what popular music you hear today or whatever, do you think the world's gone impotent?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, yeah.
That says it pretty good.
So
maybe it's a momentary sickness. Maybe did you when you were watching, if you watched that movie last night, you saw the commercial. We can cure this though. Last night all the commercials in that movie was for the Los Angeles Hospital for Impotence, and it's called.
Wow, I never saw that commercial.
It's great. It was on for those entire 2 movies. Maybe it's on now. What was that, Channel 9?
It's 1 a.m. You're watching TV.
It's X-rated.
You know what your wife's doing right now?
You're being censored in this hotel.
What do they say?
It's, I can't, God, I wish I could remember it. The title of what it was something like Butterfly School for Male Impotence or something, or Hospital for Male Impotence. It's amazing. They had it every 10 minutes all night last night on. I think we should ship the whole country down there. It's amazing what they say, because they're saying, we have researched. They were saying that they had researched among the black African tribes of Africa and found this amazing cure for male impotence and everything like that.
You said that?
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I was sitting there watching saying, wow, man. Oh, it was great. Now we may be onto something here. We may be able to ship the country down there and get this straightened out.
So do you think that a date with Elvis could act like some kind of aphrodisiac then? Are you the Spanish fly in this sort of today's present music scene?
It ought to be, but if everybody's not too far gone, hard to tell
Spanish fly, I spell it F-L-Y, man. The thing I don't like about underground comics is they're totally free, they have no inhibitions, and they're not controlled by a censor. I like that. I think the best comics that ever came out were the ones where they were afraid to do some things, so they snuck in things. Because that made violence sick, and it made sex dirty and everything else. And in underground comics, sex isn't really dirty, or it's violence isn't really that violent. Everything is like allowed. I do like it. When there are hidden meanings in things, it puts things in proper perspective. Like if the world was an underground comic, there'd be people fucking out in that intersection, not even thinking about it right now.
Heaven forbid, but if the Cramps were OD, what would they like to be carved on their tombstone?
Died of old age.
This is your parting shot. Here we go.
Pretty classical.
Small
what?
methods. I don't know.
Well, I had a great answer for that. Can't remember it. Oh man. I don't know. I just don't want to go down in a plane crash like Ricky Nelson. When we heard about Ricky Nelson dying, Ivy heard about it on TV on the headline station where they just tell headlines, and they said,
On the radio, I heard.
On the radio. Well, they said the price of corn has gone up 2 cents. Ricky Nelson is dead, and elephants have stampeded in Africa. They don't say what the thing. So we didn't know how he died. And the first thing I said, she said Ricky Nelson's dead, and I said, how'd he die? And she goes, I don't know yet. We'll have to watch the news. And I said, I hope he died of an OD. I hope he didn't. I hope he didn't die in a plane crash. Because everybody's dying. I have a big fear of dying in a plane crash. And he was my all-time idol, and he died in a plane crash. I know I'm going to die in a plane crash. I used to think I was going to die in an automobile accident, but now I think I'm going to die in a plane crash.
Oh no.
I think you haven't died the way you expected to die.
I hope I die of old age. That's what I want to die of. I don't want to live fast, die young, and leave a beautiful memory. I want to live fast sometimes, slow sometimes, live to be real old, and have everybody hate me when I die. Be fine with me.